Hello, good people. Welcome to the Save Happy Life channel with me, Dr. Rose M. Sorry, I've been away for a few days. There's a flu bug that is going around in Nairobi, and I happened to get my share of it, but I've sufficiently recovered now. And I would like us to continue guiding our fresh graduates, those who graduated in the months of December and November, so as to assist them or facilitate them get jobs as soon as possible. CV writing is a topic that was covered in the languages during their high school, and most probably most of them have forgotten since they went to university, and for 4 years they did not have to write any CVs in the course of their studies. So, fresh graduates, who I'm speaking to you, and I would like you to know that different countries have different formats of writing their CVs. And today I want us to look at the UK format, that is United Kingdom, that a country that is employing a lot of Kenyans, a lot of nurses, a lot of other professionals, and also Canada, a country that is thirsty and has an insatiable appetite for immigrants. And who knows, you could be one of them. It's good to know how to do these things. Briefly, very, very briefly, look at the subtitles in the UK format, CV format or preferred CV format. Of course, you start with your name, formally written, and then your formal email address, not those email address that you have Rose Sweetie something, and then they don't sound serious. They need very serious email addresses, and then of course your contact, your telephone number. And in this case, since you're thinking outside the country, it's important that you include the code +254 and then 722 or 7, whatever other number you have in your phone number. After that, you do a professional summary. I have written a few lines of part of my professional summary, and I would like to read it so that you listen to it and you read it a few times so that you see the language that I've used and how I have sold or tried to sell myself in this very brief professional summary. I have written, I'm motivated. I'm a motivated guidance counselor with 2 years of experience in mental health, offering expertise in psychotherapy for youth in addiction and substance use, and empowering families affected by addiction and substance use and abuse. Creative self-starter, able to customize family-based clients' therapeutic plan. Well acquainted with monitoring clients' development in the recovery process. After that, you do your experience. And the experience is in the reverse chronological order, meaning you start with what you're doing now and you move into the past. For you, possibly you graduated last month or in the last 2 months, and thus you do not have experience. Make up this void with a detailed description of your units in college, the units that relate to the job that you're applying for, just so that you show the employer that you have the knowledge. You may not have the experience, but you have the knowledge. A point of strength will be your practicum or internship or practicals, whatever on-job orientation you had in the course of your degree. Then after that, you do voluntary work. Right there, voluntary work. Why voluntary work is because many international employers are interested in people who are able to give back their time, give back their skills to the society or to the community. And then after that, you have the skills. Write the soft skills that you have. Interpersonal relationship. I could say that I'm compassionate to clients. Communication skills. I'm empathetic towards clients and their family members. I have attention to details. uh, meaning I am meticulous in client's case documentation. Then after that, nobody is going to employ you and will not require that you use a computer. So make sure that your employer, possible employer, knows that you can use a computer by listing your computer competency. That is computer programming skills, Microsoft Office, of course, and then you could add something like statistical package for social sciences, that is the research analysis tool, and whatever other computer skill that you may have. Then thereafter, you put down your education. You could say that you studied in XYZ university between this date and this year and this year. And then you have got, for example, Bachelor of Arts in Counseling Psychology. After that, you go now down to your secondary school, XYZ or ABC secondary school, this year to this year. What did you achieve? You write there, Kenya Certificate of Secondary Education. Write in full, not KCSE. Nobody will know what KCSE means. You have to write it in full so that the decoding software is not will not have trouble trying to analyze who or what KCSE is. Just write it in full. Good. And you're good to go. Make sure that it is immaculate, free of errors, consistency in terms of the font, the type of the font, the size of the font, the numbering, and all that. And practice, it makes perfect. Make sure that you also Google a lot more in the UK or websites so that you see how to improve on the little that I have given you. And we go to the Canadian format. This is the country that is looking for immigrants left, right, and center in their hundreds of thousands. And who knows, my son, my daughter, you could be one of them. And in this one, I would want to refer you to a Kenyan nurse who has settled in Canada. She's called Joyce. I don't know her at a personal level, but I know her as a fellow YouTuber, and I've interacted with her on YouTube. And I would refer you to just type her name, Joyce K, Content Creator Canada, and it will pop out in the YouTube section of your screen. And go to where she's talking about Canadian resume or Canadian CV. And by the way, while you're at it, you'd also benefit on how to write a cover letter from or a Canadian cover letter, because she has covered a bit of that in that particular YouTube session. So make sure that you check on Joyce K, content creator in Canada. And before you do that, of course, the Canadian CV format is also very formal. It has to have your name, it has to have your email, it has to have your telephone number. Then after that, you do highlights of your qualifications. This is where you say, for example, 2 years in mental health and mental health, youth in addiction, and substance use counseling, and empowering families affected by addiction. And then completed at a graduate degree in counseling psychology with addiction and substance use as a major. Then you may want to mention a little bit about your fluency in the language, because Canada is keen on language. You may say you're fluent in English and French. Canada is a duolingual country. And then you might want to add there as a highlight of your qualification that you're competent in Microsoft Office and whatever other skill that you're competent in the computer. All this is in the top after your name, highlights of qualifications. After that, you come to your skills and accomplishment. I would, for example, in my case, say therapy provision is a skill. And then after that, I say assessed clients for drugs and substance use, and then guided clients in a participatory recovery plan, guided families in the addiction recovery, in addiction client recovery process. That is briefly other skills and accomplishment. You mention the skill, and then what have you accomplished in that particular skill? There may be as many as you have them, as many as you possibly have accomplished. Educational background comes next, where you of course put your Bachelor of Arts, for example, counseling psychology, in this university from this year to this year. And then you come to your secondary school, especially for the fresh graduates, and you put there Kenya Certificate of Primary Education, and you state the years so that somebody will see that there are no gaps in your life. After that, you come now down to professional experience, where you can, for example, you can talk about addiction and substance use counselor, where family home care Nairobi. This is fictitious. It's not a home that exists in Nairobi. And then you, for example, say January 2021 to current or to date. Then you list down what you have been doing, what in that specific under that specific role. Then you go to where you were previously before you the current position, and you could say something like, or I would say something like, substance abuse assistant counselor, where care and rehab center, the town, talking of Kenya, Kisumu, and what date? February 2020 to December 2020. Then you list down what you achieved, what you did. Use the verb in the past tense. Received and admitted clients to the center. Maintained clients' case history files. Documented case conferencing sessions. That gives credit to you because you're saying what you did, which is the verb, and you did it in the past, which means that you have already accomplished. You already have an experience in that. Of course, again, you use reverse chronology of your professional experience. You realize that in both, we have not stated the referees and we have not put down the hobbies. These are not necessary. Instead, capitalize on what will sell you other than mentioning your hobbies to somebody who is not interested in your hobbies, or somebody who may not really like the hobbies that you like because of their past experience with those hobbies, or because of their own personal reasons. So briefly, that is it. Of course, I would urge you to keep looking, keep reading, keep refining your skills on CV writing, because this is what is going to sell you. Nobody out there has ever seen your face or your papers, your academic papers, but the first thing that they read about you is the CV, even before they think about talking to you. So sharpen your skills in writing a CV so that you're able to attract would-be recruiters. And on that note, I wish you all the best as you continue searching for jobs all over, and please go global if you can. Go global if you can, because there are more opportunities out there and there is room for growth. Don't just think about our country called Kenya, and you may not have the opportunity to get yourself a good employer. Just move out and be the first one in your family to possibly venture out of the country and bring good tidings to yourself and to your family. All the best. Have you subscribed? If yes, thank you very much. If no, please touch that subscription icon, and we move on from there tomorrow and tomorrow and tomorrow. Bye bye.